In the top stories, deposit insurance could be coming for credit unions early next year. A teacher is accused of having sexual intercourse with a minor, and Barbados stays in Davis Cup Group 1. Welcome to Nation News for Monday, November 2nd, 2015. I'm Natasha Beckles.
No matter where you are in the world, at home or abroad, Nation News keeps you connected with what's happening in Barbados through our website, video newscast, and online e-papers. So stay connected with Nation News. Your news, your time, your way.
A deposit insurance scheme for the credit union movement could be in place by the first quarter of next year. This has been revealed by President of the Barbados Cooperative and Credit Union League Limited, Barry Hunt, who says the Financial Services Commission is making significant progress. Speaking at the League's annual general meeting over the weekend, Mr. Hunt said the necessary information has been submitted to the Chief Parliamentary Council so that the relevant pieces of legislation can be amended. The aim is for credit union members' deposits to be covered up to a maximum of $25,000, as is the case with commercial banks. Members of the media fraternity have paid their last respects to former journalist and the first editor of The Nation, Charles Harding. During a funeral service at the St. Matthias Church on Monday, he was remembered as a hard-working, exemplary journalist who inspired many. Close friend Stephen Brathwaite paid tribute.
Without doubt, as a writer, Charles was a nation builder. Nation spelt both with and without a capital N. For he secured the foundation of our newspaper while adding immense value to our country. His strong will. Charles always gave his best attention to detail. He had a mind of his own, and as far as he was concerned, any situation in question was either right or wrong, full stop, matter fixed. But behind that curtain, he was just a gentle giant. Charles also fancied himself as a boxer of some repute, as well as a budding cricketer. But my memory of Charles being a cricketer goes back to the early 70s in a friendly cricket match at the Texaco playing field between Texaco and The Nation, when he was invited to play and bowl. And after the fifth ball of his first over, he retired hurt, saying to his captain, "Wilfred boy, I done with this thing here."
A teacher has been granted bail of $6,000 on charges of committing an act of serious indecency and engaging in sexual intercourse with a female under age 16. 26-year-old Ronaldo Dave Lewis of First Avenue, Fords Road, Country Road, St. Michael, appeared in the District A Magistrates Court on Monday and was not required to plead to the two charges. The alleged offenses occurred on July 29th and October 26th. Mr. Lewis was granted bail under the conditions that he stays away from the complainant. He returns to Criminal Court Number 2 on February 24, 2016. Banks Holdings Limited will not be trying to get out of the agreement it signed in 2010 with Latin Capital Fund, now SLU Beverages Limited. This is the word from BHL Chairman Anthony King. The agreement contained a clause that would stick BHL with a payment in excess of $132 million if anyone other than SLU's parent company, Ambev, gained control of 25% or more of the company's stock. Ambev and Ansel McCall are now battling for BHL. Mr. King said the conglomerate gained significantly from the arrangement, and to back out now would send a bad signal to the international community.
I think you have to understand, you're taking the presumption that that the company should want to get out of an agreement that it has had the benefit of. Remember, you enter an agreement between two parties. When you do that, there are obligations under that agreement, but you enter an agreement because it has benefits. Okay? So for the company to have entered into an agreement, got the benefits of the agreement, and then to go wrong and say, well, I now want to get out of the agreement, is not something that courts look favorably on at all. Because they said, well, if you want to get out of it, you should have not signed it.
Education Minister Ronald Jones believes the Barbados Institute of Management and Productivity is positioned to become a university. Speaking during the institution's graduation ceremony over the weekend, he challenged management to consider making the transition. Mr. Jones said foreign exchange would be earned and employment could be generated by such a move. During the evening, a number of awards sponsored by Corporate Barbados were handed out to students who excelled in their fields of study. 24-year-old Jermaine Williams is the latest victim of gun violence. The Eagle Hall St. Michael resident succumbed to injuries to the head early on Sunday morning after gunmen reportedly opened fire at a fete in Spooners Hill. Also injured was Anthony Platinum Hewitt, who underwent emergency surgery after receiving several gunshot injuries. Scores of mourners gathered at the Abundant Life Assembly on Saturday to say goodbye to former Coast Guard Lieutenant Commander Sean Reese. He was eulogized as a dedicated officer and a gentleman with a loud, infectious laugh and an unbridled passion for the military. One of the officiating ministers, Canon DeVere Murrell, urged the congregation not to take their loved ones for granted. Mr. Reese was 56. Local firefighters got the best of their regional counterparts last week, but the only fires they put out were those under their pots and pans. As part of the Caribbean Association of Firefighters Week of activities, officers from 6 territories took part in a cook-off at the Barbados Fire Service's Probin Street headquarters. When it was all over, Barbados beat Dominica into second place with Grandma's Cuckoo and Creole Saltfish. In sport, Barbados will be playing Davis Cup in the Americas Zone 1 for another year, thanks to the island's top tennis player, Darian King. On Sunday at the Tennis Center, King survived some anxious moments to beat Uruguay's Santiago Maresca 7-6, 6-2, 6-love for the 3-1 lead in the reverse singles. Barbados had pulled ahead in Saturday's doubles, which King and Hayden Lewis won 6-2, 6-2, 6-2. Uruguay won the dead rubber as Russell Mosley was swept aside in straight sets. The West Indies women just keep on winning, not so the men. On Sunday, West Indies women came from behind to stun Pakistan in the Super Over and win the T20 series 3-0. Bundled out for 88, West Indies restricted Pakistan to 77 to force the Super Over after a rain break. Pakistan scored 3 and Kaishana Knight brought up the victory with a boundary. Assistant coach Ezra Mosley spoke about the team's performance. West Indies also won the one-day series, but the men lost their opening match against Sri Lanka by 1 wicket. The rain-affected match was reduced to 26 overs aside. West Indies scored 159 for 8, and Sri Lanka survived a nervous finish to score 164 for 9. And finally, an Albuquerque, New Mexico dentist is hoping to fight against post-Halloween cavities with cash. Byron Wall offered to buy candy back from trick-or-treaters on Sunday afternoon. His office will pay $1 for every pound of candy, up to $5. The purchased candy goes towards Blue Star Moms, a nonprofit supporting New Mexico troops. Mr. Wall said the organization packages the candy along with clothes and food in holiday boxes to ship to soldiers in November. And that's Nation News for Monday. For more news, log on to nationnews.com as well as YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Remember to pick up your Daily Nation on Tuesday or subscribe to our e-paper. Thank you so much for joining us.